Welcome, and thank you very much for being here with us today. I'm Karen Fletcher. I'm the Chief Adult Probation Officer. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge some of our special guests in attendance. Of course, Mayor Edwin Lee, Board of Supervisors President London Bree, Sheriff Vicki Hennessy, Executive Director of Young Community Developers, Shimon Walton, Deputy Director of the Department of Public Health, Colleen Shala, and Deputy Chief Ali from the San Francisco Police Department. We are here today to learn about the exciting and continued criminal justice reform taking place in our great city. Under the leadership and support of Mayor Lee, who recognizes the need for comprehensive criminal justice reform and reentry services, the Mayor's Office has created space for criminal justice partners to foster a network of wraparound services for people who are exiting jail and prisons, and more generally, anyone involved in the criminal justice system. The Adult Probation Department is very proud to be part of this citywide effort. Before asking Mayor Lee to speak, I'd like to share with you some of the Adult Probation Department's most recent program developments here at the CASC. Expanded services eligibility to include all justice-involved residents of San Francisco who are aged 18 and older. Augmented behavioral health services to meet the ever-growing needs of our clients with mental health and substance use issues. Implemented gender-responsive strategies for women, including the hiring of a gender-responsive coordinator. Beginning July 1st, in partnership with the Office of Economic and Workforce Development, the CASC will become the specialized access point for reentry employment. And in September, the CASC will begin to be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as the Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion Program host site. As a priority in his fiscal year 17-18 budget, Mayor Lee has demonstrated his commitment to reducing harm on our streets and investing in neighborhoods, with a deliberate focus on serving individuals who struggle with behavioral health and addiction issues. He continues to be passionate about creating and implementing programs that provide services to our most vulnerable residents in an effort to link them with sustainable employment and housing and to reduce recidivism in our city. It is now my very distinct honor to introduce Mayor Edwin Lee, who has been and continues to be at the forefront of criminal justice reform and creative initiatives in San Francisco. Please join me in welcoming our mayor.
Thank you, our probation chief, Karen Fletcher. I'm smiling today. I hope I see more smiles. You know why? It's not just because the Warriors are champions. It's not just because it's a summer of love. Ladies and gentlemen, this topic can depress us a lot about what we're doing in our criminal justice system. And I want you to know that if we were in some other building, you would be frowning. If we were in the Hall of Justice, we would have reason to frown because it's a bad building, seismically unfit. But I'm smiling because we're at an assessment service center that's helping people save their lives and improve their lives. And that's why I'm smiling, that's why I'm here. And I know this is a topic that President Breed and I talk a lot about because we want to divert people from the justice system, not punish low-level crime, but correct it in a way in which it can contribute to people's lives and to improving a system that has failed us all too often. I want to say thank you to our police department. They have to go out and get folks that are constantly in harm's way, repeating over and over again the things that we don't want to see. And then they bring them to a system, rotate right back out, doing the same thing. What are we doing here? Is this insanity? I say that with this grant, with this opportunity, we can start changing the way we operate. I want to say thank you to all the community groups that are working with us to offer in the community opportunities for jobs and training and support systems, health support systems, mental health support systems. All the things that we have engaged in the Reentry Council for many years. The probation wants people to succeed outside of their jurisdictions. So that's why this investment is going to be a serious one, a helpful one, and one that I'm very happy to do. So I want to just say and begin by saying thank you to Karen and this particular center, a hallmark for our reentry services in San Francisco, to President Bree, to Chief Scott, Sheriff Hennessy, to Shimon Walton, to Barbara Garcia, others that are part of our community-based organizations that we are investing in to make sure we're supporting those individuals. And we're talking not about serious homicide crime, we're talking about low-level crimes. It's low-level crimes that keep repeating themselves. And I'm having a good conversation with our police department, and probation department, and diversion projects with the judges about how we need to make changes so that when we do touch upon, most of the time, our young people, we have hope for them. We should have. We're a city of hope. We should have better ways than just incarcerating that doesn't have an end to it. So from the beginning of my term as mayor, I've made public safety, all aspects of public safety, a high priority. Yes, I want to reduce homicides, if not eliminate them. Yes, I want less incarceration and more supportive services. But ultimately, it's because all of us are called to our jobs to bring hope to people. And when we find them in the worst situations, and sometimes it is our criminal justice system, and now being the mayor for almost 7 years now, over 7 years, I've got to be part of an answer to this. I'm not showing up on day one saying I want to do this. 7 years, and in those 7 years, some names have popped up on a repeat basis of people that keep coming back. What are we trying to do for this, and how can we do better? So we have an opportunity to save lives. We have an opportunity to improve lives, and we can do that by focusing on who is coming through our criminal justice system repeatedly for low-level crimes. I remain committed to protecting our residents in this city, but I also know that our justice system traps too many people for too long periods of time. And if we can just get to a point where we have a level of services, smart levels of services, then also maybe the response from some of the incarcerated can be a lot more positive about themselves, for their families, and for all of us. I want to be able to transition people out of a facility like the Hall of Justice. That's why we're pursuing a combination of changes to our criminal justice system. And I don't think that the solution relies solely on our justice system, because the issues are much larger. And when we have a chance to talk to people, we have a chance to intervene in people's lives, we often discover it is the issues about poverty, about economics, about mental instability, about intergenerational family violence. These cannot be solved in jail. They have to be solved in a collaborative spirit of all of the agencies working with us as a city government, working in the communities where these things happen. So today, we're announcing the city's additional investments over the next 2 years, investments in proven, successful programs like new diversion initiatives, such as law enforcement assisted diversion, or what we call LEAD program. And we have the support of our state in helping us with some financial resources doing this, but it's going to start happening right here at this assessment center with the services that are all connected up. We'll have new funding for weekend rebooking pilot programs, for electronic monitoring, and for pretrial diversion programs that will expand at this center. The CASC, the Community Assessment Service Center right here, is a 24-hour service response for all of the individuals that are in need of of obtaining immediate services. And is more than just hope. These programs actually work. They've actually diverted many people away from coming back to the criminal justice system. But we need them to be even more robust. So I want to make sure we ensure that no one spends a moment longer in jail, because nothing that good ever happens in jail. There's not really a whole lot of recovery. And if you assume and think that by incarcerating people, they'll somehow magically turn their lives around, you're kidding yourselves. People here know that the best. And so I'm really dependent upon you. I'm going to invest in all of your work to make sure we have an even better diversion program for people to get out of the criminal justice system and allow them to have better services to change their lives. We're coming together as a city even more to reduce recidivism, and at a time when we're asking what other tools do we have to make sure people can better their lives and provide for their families and for themselves. I think it's more smart. I think it's more thoughtful. I think we're going to have an impact on the criminal justice system as we promote these diversions. I'm having direct dialogue with the judges and with the presiding judge, who's excited about these investments because they see the same individuals, just as you do, coming back, going in, coming back, going in. And again, it's not about improving their lives. That criminal justice system worsens it unless we intervene with these community programs. So I want to say again, thank you to everybody who's here. Thank you for your commitment. We'll keep doing this as long as it works for us. But we already know that it does work, and we're investing and expanding in those successful programs of diversion and electronic monitoring, and also the support services that we want to have here at the center, but also in the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Lee. I now have the pleasure to introduce the President of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, London Breed. Supervisor Breed is a lifelong community leader and current District 5 supervisor. As a supervisor, she has worked tirelessly to find solutions for our homeless families and to enhance public safety. She has also been an incredible champion of the Re-envisioning the Jail Replacement Project. Please welcome President Breed.
Thank you, Chief. Many of you know that 2 years ago we rejected building a new jail and began a process of re-envisioning what alternatives to incarceration will look like here in the city and county of San Francisco. For too long, our approach to criminal justice has been stuck in a cycle that has harmed and impoverished the very people we need to help. This has undermined our commitment to build a better future for individuals and families, and we had to stop it. And many of you know that this issue is personal for me. People from my community, family members from my community, going through the cycle of imprisonment and experiencing this pretty much my entire life forced me to look at this issue now as a member of the Board of Supervisors and start thinking about ways to change it in order to improve the lives of the people I know deserve a better alternative than being locked up. This was never an issue I could take lightly, and I couldn't support building another standalone jail and continue to lock up folks that I grew up with, folks in the African American community, people in the Latino community. And after numerous hearings on re-envisioning the jail with law enforcement, the Department of Public Health, and civil rights activists and mental health advocates, I'm pleased to say that we've made incredible progress. And the investments that we're making here today under the leadership of our great mayor, that's real dollars to support real alternatives that are going to make a real difference in people's lives. And I couldn't be more proud to stand here today to talk about what we're going to do to actually help to change lives. We're making greater investment in the diversion program, improving the pre-booking process with the LEAD program, and advocating for bail reform on the state level, and looking to give folks a second chance shouldn't be for those who just can't afford it. You know, I experienced this a lot in my community when I was executive director of the African American Art and Culture Complex. Going through the process and having limited staff for pre-trial diversion for some of the young people that I work with was really frustrating and led to them spending more time in jail than they really should have for doing just really a low-level crime where they shouldn't have been in jail in the first place. I've had young people spend a weekend in jail for crimes that they didn't even commit because they had to wait until Monday, or even in some instances when there was a holiday, they'd have to wait to Tuesday in order to determine whether or not they would be released. And so these investments, they are going to make a difference. We are making targeted investments in social services and case management services for those who suffer under this systemic repeat incarceration situation that we got going on here in the city. And most of all, we are also making serious investments in mental health and substance abuse treatment with more psychiatric beds, more conservatorship beds, working to provide more detox beds, and looking at the future of the city differently than we had in the past. You know, it takes a lot of work, and yes, it takes a lot of money, but we, as the mayor said, we can't be insane in this process. We can't do the same thing of the past and expect to change lives and have a different outcome. I miss my friends. I miss my family members. I miss what my community used to be. And until we make real investments in changing people's lives on so many different levels in this city, we're not going to see anything change. And so looking at these issues and investing in these things and trying to come up with alternatives that are really going to have an impact on changing people's lives, that's what this is about today. And I'm looking forward to these investments. I'm looking forward to seeing the changes in people's lives. I'm really proud of some of the other work that we've done separately from these investments. We've banned the box here in San Francisco so that people who have maybe a criminal record, they paid their debt to society, and now they want a good paying job. They won't be discriminated against for employment opportunities. They can't be discriminated against for housing. We've done a lot of work around trying to figure out whether or not safe injection services could be the solution to help people transition out of drug use into detox and into something that's going to help save and change their lives. All of these things are going to make the difference in changing San Francisco for the better. And I couldn't be prouder than to serve as the president of the board at a time when we have incredible leadership making good decisions that are going to have an amazing impact on the lives of so many. Thank you all so much for being here today.
Thank you, President Breed. Next, I would like to introduce Sheriff Vicki Hennessy, a San Francisco native. Sheriff Hennessy joined the Sheriff's Department in 1975 and ultimately served as a member of their executive management team for 25 years before being elected San Francisco's 35th sheriff. She is committed to working collaboratively on the Re-envisioning the Jail Replacement Project, an inclusive effort that has created an opportunity for a diverse group of collaborators to engage in respectful and productive dialogue. Please welcome Sheriff Hennessy.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Supervisor Breed, all the people up here at the podium. I just wanted to say, and I'll keep mine short, is I look forward to working collaboratively, and it's been a great pleasure to work collaboratively with all the people you see here. I think it's important that we combine public health and criminal justice. I think that it's that public safety and public health are so intertwined, and I think that we're recognizing that as a city more and more and working together on issues like SF Lead and others. I look forward to having SF Lead divert people out of the system before they get to a point where they're going to be committing worse crimes and coming into our jails and causing more problems. And I look forward to working with people to continue this collaboration on reentry. Having the center open 24/7 for the Sheriff's Department is a great addition to the services we already provide. I think that having a place for people to go when they get out of our facilities down the street, and they can walk up here and there's a warm place, there's some food, there's a place to sit down, and there are services for people. I think that's going to be very exciting for us and something that we will certainly look forward to. So thank you for having me here today, Chief Fletcher, and I have to commend Chief Fletcher, and I think that the two of us can work more on some of these post-release issues, and I'm looking forward to that collaboration as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Our next speaker is Shimon Walton, the Executive Director of Young Community Developers, a workforce development organization located in the Bayview Hunters Point community. Young Community Developers has been an integral partner in the city's efforts to reduce violence in the community and to promote public safety by connecting our transitional aged youth who live in areas of high levels of street violence with opportunities to put them on the path to success. Additionally, in 2014, Shimon was elected to the San Francisco Board of Education. Please welcome Shimon Walton.
Good morning. Tough room. But much like the mayor, I just want to say that I'm excited about partnerships that actually work. We've been fighting hard these last few years to fight recidivism, to fight unemployment, high unemployment, particularly with the demographic of the young people that we serve, people who have offended and who deserve and need a second chance. And this work in bringing law enforcement together, bringing probation together, bringing the mayor's office together, bringing all elected officials and CBOs and community together, this work has been tremendously successful. When we talk about why people offend and how we disrupt the cycles of violence, how we disrupt the cycles of people who offend, it really comes down to options and opportunities. Most of us in this room have some type of education, some type of a skill set. When things go wrong, when we make a mistake, we can jump right back out there. We have the ability to go out and find another job. We have the ability to advocate for ourselves. This is what we're doing in this work together, giving our people a second chance. And by the way, without second chances, I wouldn't be standing here before you right now. But we're giving our people a second chance to gain a skill, a second chance to get the wellness support that they need to make sure that they have the opportunities, they can take advantage of the opportunities that are available to them. So with the Community Assessment Services Center, with the Interrupt, Predict, and Organize work that we're doing in all of our communities with other CBOs, we're actually eliminating and bringing down recidivism rates. We're increasing employment opportunities. Most of the folks who go through our job trainings and who go through our year of subsidized employment with the city and county of San Francisco are actually over 70% are maintaining full-time employment after their subsidized employment opportunity. And that is a big deal. And we want to appreciate the mayor and the city hall, of course, for providing the resources for programs like IPO and making sure that our young people have an opportunity to really re-engage in society and within communities. But again, this effort could not happen without the support of everyone in this room, without community stepping up and taking a stance and saying that we're going to make sure these folks get another opportunity to be a part of society. Because if we give them the support that they need, if we continue to work with them hand in hand, they can and will be successful. They won't reoffend, and they will be able to live productive lives. So thank you.
I would also like to acknowledge Jeff Adachi, our public defender, who has joined us, and also Mr. Al Gilbert, who is the Executive Director of Felton, who is a partner with us in the new LEAD program. Thank you all for being here. So as everyone has indicated, no agency or city department can do this on their own. This truly is a collaborative effort that is going to help the citizens and the residents of San Francisco. So today's outpouring of support for all that we're doing in the criminal justice system is really true to the core. Every individual who is represented here today is committed to those efforts. And under the leadership of Mayor Lee, we have been very fortunate to have the resources to move some of these projects forward, and also with the support of President Breed. So I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for joining us today. And again, extend our gratitude to Mayor Lee. I know all of these departments are committed, and with the great work of the Adult Probation Department and all of the staff that have joined us today, they truly are committed, and I appreciate that greatly. All of our justice partners are on board to promote public safety by improving the lives of the individuals who live in this wonderful city. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you very much for the support, and have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.